The world may not like me, but that's okay. There's only one thing I've got to say. Fuck everybody.
Hello and welcome to the Counterfeit podcast. I'm your host Benny Manick, and this is my nephew Jacob of
Jake Plays Video Games. Yeah.
And what I'm doing here is I'm starting my first podcast. This is the Counterfeit podcast. I will have a different guest, maybe a different co-host as we go on. But we're going to talk about a few topics here. The topics I like to talk about are things that probably will offend you. I don't like liberals. I don't like
libtards, flatheads, snowflakes. If you're easily offended, you're going to get the fuck out of here. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. This is not a show for you, nor will you like listening to it.
That's correct. All right, so where do we want to begin?
So we have a list of topics written down that we really like to get to. Just very broad topics. Our first one we got written down here is tattoos. This pretty much happened because I recently just got a tattoo. I got this tattoo done yesterday. I got a really nice Harry Potter versus Link half sleeve. It's crazy. It took me 9.5 hours to get done, which was fucking agonizing. And watercolor, Triforce and Deathly Hallows. Looks really cool. So if you see me, like this or anything, I don't want to touch it on the table or anything. It's still healing. So we want to make it last. But as far as tattoo goes, we just want to do more or less art representation. Both of my uncle and I, we both have tattoos. I'm 16, and I have 6 now. I have 6 tattoos. I've got pretty much just ones I wanted to get. I've always wanted the Triforce one. I got that linked into this. I love this half sleeve. I'm so stoked about it. I've got a couple smaller ones, like I have a little dinosaur on my wrist, and I've got 2 stars on my ankles. Both of those are for my parents. I've got the first letter of their initial in each one of them. And then I got a sword from Kingdom Hearts, a Keyblade, the Oathkeeper Keyblade, tattooed on my leg. Yeah, that's the one I got before this one. So I'm doing pretty good. And then Ben's obviously got some more tattoos than me, but actually no.
I got 5.
So I've just one-upped you.
If you count a cover-up, I have 6.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, like, that's like saying if I go into each one of these, it's like I got Harry, I got Harry. I'm pretty I got like 12 here,
See, the first tattoo I ever got the day I turned 18, because I love to piss people off, I got this tattoo. After that, that's probably the only tattoo that's like definitely going to offend you. Most were just designed to be funny. I have on my wrist here, it says, "Cut on the dotted line like a coupon." So I'm a sick, morbid fucker. Now, the funny thing about this one is, before I die, I'm going to have this very same tattoo done on my armpit, but off-centered from the artery. Then I'm going to give my body to the mortician's students to work on. That way, when the student sees the line, thinks it's for him, misses the artery, gets a failing grade.
Oh yeah.
And
it's
then
such a dick move, but it's so funny.
It's hilarious. Then I have, of course, my fandom one, which is the He-Man Sword of Power. I think nowadays they call the He-Man sword something different, which fucking fucking with my childhood.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just all that is. I have this tattoo on my chest here, which was a cover-up of my ex-wife's name. I literally got this tattoo the day I signed the papers. And then my all-time favorite tattoo, and everybody's favorite tattoo that knows me, is my not gay tattoo.
The butt sex. That's what it is. I think it's funny.
I thought it was funny as fuck when I was 18 years old. Now I know that I cannot, in the right circumstances, go to prison. It's usually a deciding factor when I'm going to do something fucked up. Will I go to prison for this shit? Is it worth it?
Yeah. So,
I mean, I'm a big fan of tattoos. I've got friends who are tattoo artists, all good people. There's a tattoo artist I used to be pretty good friends with. I say used to, not because I'm not friends with them anymore, but just because I haven't really seen them or hung out with them much in years. A guy by the name of Ryan Gillikin of oh god, I'm not sure what tattoo place he's at. Anyhow, he's huge in the Warren, Pennsylvania, Jamestown, New York area.
Ryan Almighty, or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Almighty Studios was the thing, and then
he was recently. He's into blood work now.
Yeah, he's moved to the
California,
West Coast, and he does paintings in human blood.
Which is crazy.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Fucking cool as hell. He's a hell of an amazing artist.
Yeah.
But
follows
great
his
shit.
Social
you know.
media, his Facebook and Instagram. It's crazy on there.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved tattoos. I think they're the coolest shit in the world. I'm not so much into the piercings, just because it's just not my thing. I really don't care for needles. And it's kind of stupid to say if you have fucking tattoos, but it's a different connotation. Yeah, not a big fan of needles, so I don't like the piercings, but love tattoos. I think it's like the fucking stupidest thing in the world at like any establishment where they're like they don't want you to have tattoos and piercings showing. Like, you can't work here because you know you have septum piercing or blah 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 blah. Like, who gives a fucking shit? You know what?
I think it's a generation thing. It's a lot more accepting in my generation to get all
Yeah,
this because it's like, oh, it's art, it's beautiful, and then you
Gives
get
a
the older
shit.
generation, and it's like, are you really gonna go out in public looking like that, or you know, you look like trash, you know?
Right.
And then there's just, I guess,
You know, like. And that brings us to our next topic, which is people get way too easily offended. Like, why are you so fucking offended by fucking stupid shit like that? Why? Why even bother? It doesn't mean anything. You know, I give a fuck about results.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Simple as that. If I go in to have a fucking cheeseburger, I want my fucking cheeseburger made the way I want it. Not what fucking color hair dyes in when the fucking cook's hair. You know, I don't give a flying fuck about that shit. There's no reason to give a fuck about that shit.
Yeah, definitely results matter. I think it's easier to, cause I think like people just get too trapped about like these things that could happen, and I guess like stereotyping these like people in a way. And we can use like the restaurants example, like if a server comes up to you and she's got like a septum piercing and she's dyed, and you're like, oh, she's like an emo piece of shit trash, and she's just like, I just wanted to fucking dye my hair. And
Right.
I thought this septum piercing was cool.
Right.
Yeah, you could take it out for work if she wanted to. Yeah, fucking flash that shit, you know?
Right.
You might even get a compliment from like me or like him if they're like, oh, you know, I like your tattoo.
Oh yeah, it's a complete deal. Our tattoos and shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know, especially hair dye and shit like that. I think that's hot as fuck when a chick has colored hair.
I think it's just like not sticking to your normal body, like, you know, your body is a canvas. Go ahead, go crazy for it.
Right.
Granted, some people have limitations. I mean, like, you know, getting implants and not like breast implants, but I'm talking like, you know, horns and getting your tongue, you know, severed and all that crazy shit. It's like, oh, okay, well, you're on a different level than what I was thinking, but
hey,
I mean, it looks cool.
Look cool as shit. It's your fucking body, you know.
I'm not gonna tell you no. I might judge you a little bit, but that's nothing.
I mean, hell, if I wanted to get my taxes done by somebody that looked like that, I'd care about how well they did my fucking taxes, not what their damn hair looks like, you know, stupid shit.
Yeah. I think that's crazy.
But yeah, people get way too easily offended over the dumbest shit.
Yeah, and it seems like it's coming more prevalent now than it's
Right.
Like, fuck, in the 80s, like, who would have cared? Like, you know, they would have been thought of as weird and, like, you know, that's that weird kid on the block. I think it's because they're in more of an abundance now.
Right.
You see a lot more of them. Knew it was going to happen.
Yep. And that's what happens on the Counterfeit podcast. Our backdrop fell because this is a shitty show with a
Duct
shitty
tape didn't
camera.
do too well.
You know. But hey, keep rolling, right? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is vegans.
Vegans. This is more for him. This is definitely him.
Yeah, this is a personal issue with me because I used to date this vegan bitch, and like, well, no, because like not only was she a vegan, which is like retarded, because okay, like you're worried about like bees making honey and like chickens making eggs and cows making milk, and it's like those aren't things to worry about, you know, like that's something that's been a part of our culture for
Fucking ever, dude.
yeah. Right, so many fucking eons that it's like only thing we've done is made the processes more healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
eliminated diseases and shit. There's nothing that really hurts these animals in this process. It's fucking stupid. You know, but I used to date this vegan girl, and not only did she do the vegan dumb shit, but she was also picky about what vegetables she ate. Like there was vegetables she didn't like.
How can you be more picky after you've skipped that whole vegan stage?
She hated tomatoes, and then, like I
Are
love
you really,
tomatoes.
you're gonna
Tomatoes are,
limit
like,
yourself.
Yeah, tomatoes are like one of the greatest fucking things ever. I love it.
It's like she's limiting herself after
Right.
already limiting herself from everything else on the fucking earth.
Right.
She's like, oh well, you know. I was like, it's either you eat this or you're gonna fucking die. Like,
She made me a birthday cake one year.
oh god.
So she made me a cake that didn't contain eggs or milk or anything like that, and frosting and whatnot. And I swear on my life, she got a hold from like a thrift store, a Nerf football from like when I was a kid. And that's what she somehow frosted whatever fucking vegan bullshit makes up
Just like,
frosting.
you eat it. It's
Because
like
that shit
the
was, it was nasty, tasteless, hard. Oh my god, just the worst thing ever. It's I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like people want to be picky for the sake of picky.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and they have to let you know they're vegan, like it fucking matters, you know.
It's like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm vegan. I
Yeah.
can't go out and play sports with you right now because I'm vegan. I gotta go, kill
Yeah.
off a fucking baby
Yeah,
carrot,
yeah.
you know? Like, okay, Shannon, you fucking
And
vegan
then like,
piece of
like,
shit.
like, like I don't know, like don't get me wrong, I love vegetables.
Mhm.
There's only a very very small handful of vegetables I don't like.
Yeah, I think that's just like a personal thing.
But I've
honestly.
never in my life like salivated over seeing an advertisement for a salad. You know,
It's like, oh yeah, I'm
like you watch like a steakhouse commercial and see the steak sizzling on the grill and you're just like, god damn, that looks fucking good. I've never like, watched somebody mow the lawn and thought, oh my god, fucking.
Reminds me of that South Park episode where he's just beating off to the
Yeah.
commercial. Yeah. It's like, oh, I eat the shit out of that. Yeah.
Fucked up.
I enjoy salads. I mean, they tend to be more filling for me, and I think that's like because of my school.
Yeah.
I think my school lunches suck. They're so portion small, and all the hot lunches like the pizza and all that. It's just
I enjoy salads too. I mean, the taco salad, fucking amazing.
yeah. I mean, anytime you put meat in it, man, like literally no. Like I do like a salad.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it's okay, but like I always put like diced up chicken or popcorn chicken in there, and it's like it's
Yep.
just made it so much better. Whenever you add meat, it just gets better.
Yeah, right.
It's like sex, you add another guy.
Add a
it's just
little
gonna
meat and it gets better.
Of course, then it comes with tits or not. That's a different thing. Tie that into our LGBTQ.
Yeah, LGBTQ.
This is-
LGBTQ. Okay, what the fuck is the Q? Okay, I get lesbian, gay, bi, trans. The Q stands for queer, I think.
I would imagine so.
Isn't gay and a queer like interchangeable? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, and sometimes you even use gay for lesbians too.
Right,
You say
right.
they're gay.
Right.
So it's
Homosexual, like I remember playing Smear the Queer as a kid, but like I don't really.
I feel bad for those kids growing up.
And then there's the T, which of course stands for Christ's agony on the cross. No, stands for transvestite, which, okay. I don't give a flying fuck if somebody is a homosexual. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me
Yeah,
whatsoever. You're gay. Same thing with the bi situation. Same thing with like was it pansexual? Were you into what the fuck ever? Or?
I think that's the same thing as bi, but it's because of it being more accepting now, and you have to identify all these different genders and ideologies.
so-
That you're accepting of everything. It's pretty much being the same thing. As
Something
bi.
beyond what I can understand. Like I said, I don't really care. I care about results. But where I take issue with the trans people is like, let's say, for instance, you have a guy, and he's a young kid, and his family is well-to-do, and own their own business, and he's a smart kid. He's taking college courses while he's in high school, which fucking a lot of kids. You probably fucking take some college
Yeah, I'm
courses.
taking college courses right
that's-
now, yeah.
I mean, the kids are fucking smart as shit. The ones that are smart in these days are smart as fuck. But like, so let's say this kid gets a really good job because of his college education, in with his family's company, and he's making great money. And periodically he pays for operation after operation after operation until he's as close as medically science can possibly get you to being a woman.
Mhm.
Now let's say that because of the nature of his career and his education and the company, he moves to a totally different area, cross country or what have you. and he changes his name. So now he basically has an entirely new identity, and he meets a guy that he falls in love with, and this guy is someone who is religious.
Led to believe
and
that
they don't believe in homosexuality. They're not against homosexuality, but they don't believe in practicing it. Wouldn't that be like somebody pushing their agenda onto an unsuspecting victim? I mean, that's just how I.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, but like, obviously, you get other people who would think of it as being like, oh, that's just love. They should just be accepting, and it's like, well, you're forcing someone to do something that they're not comfortable with, which I mean, that can go for a lot of things, but if they're under the impression that this original guy is a girl and that's how they're doing it, and then they find out that he, she, it, whatever the fuck it is,
the he she man
the
thing.
he she man thing, the it shit. It's like a dick shit, but it's an it shit. They're giving off the wrong impressions, and then evidently they're hurting that person who they're leading on to becoming in love. And I think they should. I don't want to, because a lot of people are more accepting, but I feel like they should kind of stay in their group where they would find someone easier who, I guess it is like them. I don't want to say like a trans and trans getting together, but like,
right.
There's cases where like a straight guy who's been male his whole life can date a trans guy who's a woman and get married and have all that shit, but like then you come with the classic guy things like how are you gonna get a kid and all this because like scientifically
right.
you're still a male.
Right.
And that's another thing that like when you go out to fill like health forms and stuff like that, and you're trying to choose male, female, or other, like a hermaphrodite
right.
and all that, like you need to do what you're born as, because like there's certain diseases and stuff like that that pertain to you, like prostate cancer. Like you're a guy and you go and you're turning to a girl. You're not just gonna like
right.
have these girl diseases. No, you're still likely to get like all these things that just pertain to guys. So that's something you should be taking care of, because like that's gonna affect you. Like if you have prostate cancer
Definitely.
and you're like,
yeah.
no, I can't have it. I'm a girl.
Right.
No,
right,
you
right.
you physically can. Like your body's doing it to you right now. So and that's like they get offended when they're like, why can't I put down the gender that I want to be? Well, because like what if you're gonna get fucked and they don't know how to treat you because you want to be the other gender and you're pushing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you're literally gonna die because you won't fucking give up.
Right.
Give in.
And not only all that confusion, but it brings so much confusion into our society. We have been set up for two genders
Forever.
Yeah.
And
so now there's all this extra bullshit.
And it's just coming these last like 25 years.
Yeah.
Like you're starting to see it in like the 90s, and it's like, okay, that's weird, and like they're sparingly, but like I'm saying, it's coming in more of abundance now. Like
yeah,
like my sister is pansexual. I'm just using her as an example. I don't mind it. I'm not against it or anything, but like she's got like all these friends, and at my school there's a GSA club, and there's kids who are already transgender. That's another thing. Like they're coming out as being trans, but like you haven't even lived a life yet. You haven't even gone out, have a job, have a career, have a house, and all that.
Yeah.
Like, and there's like families who are like if you're a young boy, 3 or 4, and you're playing with like girl dolls, and your parent smacks you for that, and you're like, no, those are girls' toys. Go away. Go play with these action figures. Those are sin dolls, but yeah, good boy. It's mind-boggling that like now like parents are accepting, and they're like. I know there's like cases where it's like, oh, your kid's 5 and they already think they're a girl and they're actually a boy.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like their parents are pushing them further. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go through the transplants. There's kids who are like 9 or 10 who probably just would have had those quick habits because you're a kid, you're just exploring and playing. Like I know I played with like girl shit all the time. It doesn't mean like I'm a girl right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that like their parents will like force it. Like no, we're super supportive, and we're gonna support these kids, and we're paying for all of the bills and everything like that, and the testosterone and the estrogen.
My cousin used to get me to play with Barbies with her when we were little, and that stopped when I took Barbie and a bunch of her hair ties and had Barbie tied up to the 4 points of Barbie's little bed with Ken coming in with his shorts down to his ankles,
Yeah, but Ken's a liberal and doesn't have a dick. So.
Like every liberal.
Like every liberal. But yeah, no, that's one that really gets me, is like kids coming out so young, like 4
But how
and
the
5.
fuck do you know anything about anything? It's
At
one
that
of those,
age too.
Like it's. I think a lot of it. It's not so much like they actually feel this way. They just feel like discrimination is wrong. And yes, discrimination is absolutely wrong. but it does play a necessary role in our society.
It does, yeah.
You know, and I'll give you a perfect example about that. Okay, you know, we always end up hating somebody. It's inevitable. You never really see anybody specifically hating child molesters, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like, or we're mad because blacks moved into this neighborhood, or we're mad because these people are Jews, or but you never anybody be like pissed off, up in arms because there's child molesters. You know,
Like there's some living, like I know, like in my city of Jamestown, there's so many people who are child molesters. Like you go on the sex offender list and you're just fucking everyone, like every couple of houses. No one's fucking pissed off. Yeah, no, it's bad.
It was like that when I was a kid. Honestly, like I was
Yeah, but then
terrified of getting like abducted or some
and
shit.
that's the fucking 80s, and like you're able to go around and like that's when your neighbors could like beat the shit out of you and bring you to your parents and be like, yeah, they fucked up.
Right.
You do that now, same circumstances, just probably the same amount of, if not a little bit more, and it's like, oh, you can't go outside, or you can't walk the street, you know, and it's like, why?
Right.
It's like,
you know.
the worst that's gonna happen to me is I get kidnapped, you know.
Right,
That's
right.
and that, even that chances of that happening are so fucking little.
It's just fucked up. Like my grandfather, he was a avid deer hunter. It was like a
Hunter, yes.
he would like do like a getaway thing with a group of his buddies that go out and catch deer, and he was a cook for the Great Lake Freighters. One of the best cooks I've ever
It's gotta be a
encountered.
thing for like a cook in our family.
It is. It really is. But the group of guys would go out and hunt their deers and learn how different recipes from my grandpa and whatnot. Well, they found out that one of the guys in their little group was fucking with kids,
Oh shit.
and they tarred and feathered him and marched him through town and pretty much ran him out of town. And it's like, you could never get away with that now.
No, because everyone would, like people would be defending the child
Right,
molester.
right. Like, what about their rights? No, they fucked a child. Like, they don't have rights at this point. Like,
No.
it's one of those things. Like, I wish
It's a new electric chair.
I could get together with a group of people and tar and feather a child molester.
Dude, it'd be like a fucking highlight of my life.
But at the same time, like, I don't want kids getting molested, so it's kind of like a weird.
Yeah, you can't like. You're like, well, little Tommy, you're gonna have to take one for the team.
Right. You know.
That'd be fucking crazy, anyways. Yeah, no, and there's so many issues that go along with that, and that's more like biased towards us. Where obviously I think we lean more right politically, like conservative, where it's like you work for what you get.
Right.
This is what happens. We're not like, well, what about their feelings? Fuck their feelings. Okay, they're gonna do something bad. They're gonna get the crimes. Actions have consequences, and
Yes, it's true.
an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I mean, all these things are
Right.
kind of like nowadays way too fucking crazy. You go back, dude, like 60, 50, 40 years ago, and it's like the way of life.
Yeah.
And like the fact that we've like did like a huge 180 flip is fucking insane. Because now you got like all these old people, and it's so weird because it's coming from the kids, like from like the 80s, 70s, and 90s. Because they're the parents right now,
Right.
who are doing it.
Right.
And it's like you were raised completely different. And I understand if you had a fucked up childhood and you're like, I don't want to like hit my kids because I was severely abused and all that, which is like, okay, like you and my dad were fucking crazy abused from a drunk alcoholic father
Yep.
that we don't really talk to anymore. And it's
No.
like
Nobody does.
my dad would spank me and like all he had to do was do one good time with a paddle and threaten me to do the paddle and you act upright. I mean, that's just dealing with kids.
Right.
It's not like you're gonna, you come home, you're drunk as fuck, you're to beat the shit out of them just for fun or something like that,
I mean,
or piss on them, and it's
See,
insane.
when my mother remarried, she married this great guy, and I can't tell you how many times I got my ass whooped by this guy, but I can't tell you how many times I deserved it as well.
Yeah, no,
and
most
how
definitely.
much that shaped me in this existence to be,
I
a
think
good
definitely.
human being.
Your upbringing has a lot to do with things too.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that's why I'm so baffled behind the parents of the kids now being like, you were raised the complete opposite way.
Right.
And usually it's like stereotypical, like the dad will do it and shit like that. But I think as it's come more on where it's like, dads are leaving homes now, and it's like, mainly for like blacks and Hispanics families, I want to say.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even with like a white mom, like their dad's leaving, that role model is completely gone. So you're not going to have that strong father figure to, like, I guess, lead the house, which, you know, a woman can lead the house just fine. But there's still, like, it was just, I want to say it's easier that way because it was already set in line and it's how it's been working. And it was working fine. Look at the fucking 50s.
Right,
The 50s is, like, the prime decade for, like, economy, you know, what a single family income working and having a couple, like, 2 or 3 kids, a wife, housewife that stays home, all that. The kids go to school. You know, that's, like, the epitome of, like, not the epitome, like, the prime example of what we should, like, probably the best decade in America, because after the wars and all that, the two wars, and that's like, okay, things are okay now, let's enjoy life.
Right.
And now it's like getting way harder to just, let's enjoy life.
Right. I mean,
so many things you need to do, think about, be okay with, and like, caution, you want to be cautious to everything, because you don't want to easily hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, gotta worry about that, hurt their feelings, for fuck's sake.
But like, you know, you get your feelings hurt all the time, like fucking kids, like you take something away from them and like they're crying and you're like, deal with it, you know, and then they're like, oh, what are you gonna be like, oh, it's okay, since you're crying, take it back, you know.
They'll get over it. I did.
For real though.
You know, like,
it's insane.
It's fucked up, you know. You got people that are just lazy as fuck anymore. You know, nobody's got any real like ambition or work ethic.
Definitely with like the I want to keep going back to it. The like a African American father, a black father leading a family, and then that requiring, let's say, a mother of 5 or 6 kids because she's been in and out with a couple different dudes, different dads, all having these kids. She can't work by herself because she's also got to take care of these kids. Going into government assistance. And I think government assistance should be okay. It should be given to a point where it gets you back to where you're able to support yourself.
Right.
Whether that be, you know, financially and all that, and you know, if you know, you had a huge trauma or anything like that, help them get you to being back to normal. And even if you can't be normal, how to live, you know, how to work with what you're given. So people who abuse the system, because that's initially that's what they want. They want, you know, like free healthcare and all that, and like all these government programs to help you get back to where you're able to not need them. But then they also need you at the same time, so they'll do tricks and stuff like that to keep you in, and they'll have you trapped in this system. And sometimes it's either based on your opinion, not your opinion, but like what you do as a person. Like, okay, I'm just gonna be on welfare for a couple of months, so we still have food and stuff like that in the house, and then once I'm able to, you know, grab a job or hold on to something, I'll get off of it. Nope, some people are perfectly fine. They'll just abuse the shit out of it.
Right.
And that's a huge thing in my city.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, Jamestown is a major fucking shithole.
Welfare abuse. You got like all these. It sounds rough. It sounds like I'm being racist, but I'm not. It's kind of how it is. The Hispanics in Jamestown abuse.
Awful lot of Puerto Ricans in Jamestown.
There's
a
a lot
with them. And you see, every Puerto Rican that's ever come to this country came to this country clinging to the side of a boat with a mason jar filled with cockroaches in the other hand.
That's funny, I like that. Anyways, they abuse the system so bad where they're doing all this, but yet, you know, they can still afford these crazy $230 sneakers or like the latest grand iPhone, and then have the audacity to go to welfare and demand more money because they're not being compensated enough. Or they'll try to hack the system or beat around the system by popping out a kid every couple of years to keep the money coming in.
Yeah.
From based off of kids.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks. Because like, first of all, you're raising a kid in a very bad environment, like being poor. Like, we've been on welfare a couple of times, but we only used it for food stamps to have fucking food. Like, Jesus Christ. How are we going to starve? You know? And there's other things. I think, like, the way people abuse it and they don't use it the way it's supposed to be used is really what takes it off. And then you go to address it, and they're like, oh, well, I've got this chronic back pain or knee thing that's fucked me up. Dude, your doctor said you've been cleared for 3 years. Like,
yeah.
calm down, get a fucking job, be a real man and support your family, or
Right,
you know.
right.
I think it's a lot harder for women to do that because they're kind of dumped in these situations where like, here's fucking kids I gave you. I'm not gonna help you with it, but go ahead and try to make a life out of this, which sucks because I have like a friend who's he's got like I think 16 brothers
Wow.
because of his
That's
dad.
insane.
He's got a real one full brother, and then the rest are from his dad being with different women.
You see, I was told never to mate with anything that breeds in litters. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, it's crazy because like he's got one full brother with his mom, and then he's got a half sister with his mom's got a different dad, and that's pretty much his main family. But his dad, he doesn't see his dad at all. He's got 15 other kids with like 7 different girls. So he's got all this
Wow.
family that's like all over the place, and his dad just won't fucking stay with one.
No.
And it's like mind-boggling. So his mom's left in this situation where like she's literally a manager at McDonald's, and she's got to support 3 kids. And he's the same age as me. He's in my classes, and like he just fucking smokes pot and does all this shit. We have a spider coming down.
Good deal.
But oh shit. Anyways, his mom's left in this position, and I've been over there a couple times and like have seen like crazy shit happen. And, like,
Spider-Man.
Cops
Whatever
coming.
a spider can.
cops coming in and all the bad situations that come out with it. Dude, another thing we should talk about, fucking Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee passed away. Like that was a huge
That fucking,
part
like-
of my childhood. Honestly.
I'm 16 and like I fucking like loved Stan Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like crazy. Like I've talked to a couple of my friends that are like, who is he? And I'm like, damn.
Yep. That Stan Lee, absolute fucking legend. I think the first thing that I was ever introduced to as a child that was a Marvel property, of all things, was Muppet Babies.
Nice.
But yeah, love me some Muppet Babies as a kid. Watched the hell out of that because I remember at the end you'd always see like the Marvel logo, and they had this like. It scared me as a kid, but they had this like Spider-Man that would like land down in the Marvel logo and the creepiest shit. Back then, cool now. But.
I think the first thing that I saw was like a Spider-Man, like one of the original trilogies for Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
I don't think one is the original. Early 2000s, the ones that
that was the original Spider-Man movie.
yeah, because then now there's like Homecoming with
Well, I mean, if you don't count like the Japanese shit. And
yeah, no.
You know.
But then from
Super
there,
Sentai.
I've always watched and read comics of like the Avengers and Fantastic Four and all of these crazy superheroes, and I'm going to the movies and watching. And,
Right, right.
Fucking X-Men.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's crazy how huge this universe is, and then having people take that work and flip it and create it and go off in different genres or columns where this will appeal to a certain group or this will appeal to someone else. And I love the fact, I know Stan Lee said this, he goes, the thing that makes like writing these stories so real is if you put them in a real place and give them realistic abilities.
Yeah, yeah.
So like fucking Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he's in New York. He's just literally a kid in New York, and then okay, a spider, it can climb, he can swing. Fucking Peter can climb and swing, and then he's super smart, which then innovates him to add these gadgets on and do it, and then you get like the strength and all this crazy crap, and it's fucking crazy to do it. But like his last couple of years were sucking for him.
Oh, no doubt. Like so much bullshit.
Abuse and
nurses alleging sexual
like really like fucking
misconduct, and it's like
insanity.
bullshit. I mean, maybe it happened, but
Like the most that probably happened to me that I can think of with him was like smacking an ass or something.
right.
And like I don't think like at his age he's gonna like force you down and rape you.
Right.
There's you can easily like throw him off and fucking get away and like no Stan, not today.
But yeah, I mean that was
That
loved
fucking
Stan Lee,
sucked.
huge part of my childhood.
Even for me, and that's a different generation. I mean that's
Right,
like 2
right.
generations. That's fucking crazy.
There was 2 eras of Marvel that I absolutely loved: the '60s and the '80s.
You were in the 80s too, so
Yeah,
you were
you know.
growing up with that. That's fucking crazy.
That was the best. I mean, the best writing. Pretty good artwork. The '90s had some damn good artwork, but the writing really sucked in the '90s, and it just got worse as time went on.
Yeah. Now the art's fucking crazy. In
But that
comics.
kind of brings up another topic I was thinking, because it's like, okay, like, we're talking about comic books and, you know, love for Stan Lee and whatnot, and there's probably people that are like, oh, these fucking nerds, these dorks. Why do you give a flying fuck what somebody spends their time, effort, and money on? How does it affect you?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
You
most
know,
definitely.
like, I happen to love fucking nerdy people. I love people that have a passion for something. I, for one, don't give a flying fuck about Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Dragon Ball Z, pretty much anything that's anime, My Little Pony.
You're not a brony?
Not a brony, no.
Fucking damn it.
But I have friends that are into all that kind of shit.
Dude, I got a fucking Harry Potter tattooed on me, like.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, when they want to talk about that shit, you know, at least they're into something, you know? I mean, at least they're doing something other than just rotting away.
I could be out on the fucking streets, you know.
Right.
Doing crack.
Plenty of things out there,
Sweet.
you know.
Black
Shoot.
tar, Mexican heroin, yeah, like, all that good shit.
Yeah, it's like fucking, yeah. I mean, there's so much worse things they couldn't do, and people are fucked up.
What do we got left? I think we just got politics, right?
Politics. For one, I think Trump is doing a fine job. I would not label myself as Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or, you know,
And you tend to be way
independent or-
more neutral, and I've noticed that a lot.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can swing either way.
right. It's just one of those things where it's like Trump is working to get some things done, some issues done. Okay, we're the United States of America. When we have issues of trade and whatnot, that means that money and goods are involved.
He's a fucking business owner, and he's got a couple, you know, failed businesses.
We can't fail at this and do the stupid shit to protect every other little country in the world. You know, we have a United Nations. Why aren't they doing all the aid and all the other bullshit? It rests on us because we're one of the richer nations or what the fuck ever. It's
Even
like,
though we're fucking $13 trillion in
right, and it's you know, like, I firmly believe we should be taking care of our own, taking care of our veterans, working on our kids getting the best education, better nutrition, you know, all this shit. If it were up to me, unless the raw ingredients for something, you know, like there's a certain type of tree they can only make rubber out of that only grows somewhere else or some bull, but basically, unless like we can't grow the shit in our climate, it should all be made here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Let the other countries worry about
That would help us out
their bullshit, you know.
extremely with our, you know, our economy issues and all this, and which, by the way, we're at like what, our record low unemployment forever.
Right.
And like, I think the big thing that sticks out to me is that it kind of sounds rough, but America should really be run like a business.
Oh, absolutely.
And
No, it should. I mean,
Trump being a successful business owner, making that happen. I mean, he's had a couple, you know, failures, but like, it's like what, 13 out of fucking 900 and something. I'm just making up numbers, but
yeah.
very small percentage. And even then, like, I mean, look at our fucking economy right now. It's doing great.
Right.
Now, some of the stuff was set in by Obama. And me being so young, I've only seen two presidents. I have a younger perspective. I've got Obama. I was all 8 years. Granted, I was born in 2002, so I had Bush. But, like, I didn't fucking remember him. I grew up with Obama. And then I've had Trump these last couple of years. And seeing things and looking back, because obviously back then I didn't really fucking care about anything.
Right.
Now I do, because it's going to pertain to me in, like, literally 2 years. Like, hey, Jake, fucking notice this. I think I really like where it's going, and I think he tends to be a lot more upfront in your face and not care. Like, he is towards the I like to say he kind of sticks to his old way. He's like fucking 72, 73, growing up in an era where you work for what you get. So all these
Right.
pro-government assistance, socialism, healthcare, all these free things, you're not really going to find him enforcing because you're not working for it.
Basically. I mean, I'm all for, you know, the programs to help the people who need them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
People who
there are people
need
who
them.
are disabled. You know, they didn't start their life disabled. You know, like your body wears down. You know, if you've got a good job at like a factory and you're making, you know, $18 an hour, and then suddenly some shit goes down, you shouldn't be stuck in a situation where you're making, you know, $7 an hour flipping burgers or out some other dumb shit. You know.
Exactly. No.
You know, that's why we have a system to help that type of shit. You know, we don't need to fucking use the system for somebody that, you know, gained 900 fucking pounds. You know, that's really not a disability.
Yeah, that's a self-conflict that you throw upon yourself, a self-issue, a self-dilemma that what you need to handle. And then, like, I mean, you know, there's certain situations, you're a stress eater, but, like, if you really get yourself up to fucking 600, 800, 900 pounds, if you're over 1,000, you should literally probably should just fucking die.
Although I want to say, maybe you won't get this reference because your age, but maybe you will, you're a smart kid. I would love more than anything in the world to read an article about them having to take a chunk of wall out of Richard Simmons' house and remove his ass with a forklift. That would just be the greatest thing.
I think I know that, yeah.
he was a weight loss queer.
Oh, is he? He's like the one from the 80s who did like the dancing and had the weird fucking hair.
Yes,
yeah,
that's him.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious if he was
Wasn't
like
he
900
really
pounds.
fat or something?
He was overweight, but he
Like-
wasn't. You know, he might have been really fat at one point, but you know.
I feel like there's people who are overweight and then obese.
Right.
Like you know, you're 250 or you're pushing 300. Okay, I mean you're kind of obese, but if you're over like 500, 600 pounds, Jesus fucking Christ, how are you alive?
No doubt.
And like I've known people I've seen people, but like I know people who are above 300 and you know they fluctuate, and I guess it kind of depends on how your body's built and all these different factors that play into it. Like you're fucking 7 feet tall and you're built and you're like 350, and that makes sense.
Right.
If you're like 200, I'm kind of nervous for you. Like, eat a hamburger here, and take something.
Right.
And there's things that you can't help, like eating. I guess like mental shit, like disorders and all that, and that's a whole different issue. But
I mean, you know, it's like the whole issue with the gun control.
oh my god, yeah.
It is not about the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically speaking, making anything illegal does not put an end to it. It just puts an end to a safe way of acquiring it.
Prohibition. Alcohol.
Prohibition.
A prime example. And that's like fucking something you learn in school. And you think like us as society should listen to our history so we don't repeat it?
Yeah.
Evidently it still happens and it does happen.
Right.
And prohibition is a prime one to look at. We literally passed an amendment to stop alcohol. That just made it, harder to get, but then you got like mobs and all of this crazy shit, running it down underground or law, and even fucking cops and all that who are supposed to enforce it will fucking join them because they think it's stupid. Not everyone's going to agree with it. But evidently that went to the fact that like we made another amendment to repeal it because it was a fucking stupid mistake. And that's how it's going to be with gun control too.
Right, exactly. I mean, they're not going to stop people from getting guns. You're going to stop people. You're going to stop people from legally getting guns. There's a big difference.
Like I think there was a prime example like of Michigan and Illinois. Someone like they passed a gun control thing in Michigan where it was super hard to get it. So literally, a kid just drove 45 minutes over the border of the state and bought a gun in a different state and got it. That's just like local, but like they could be flown in from fucking cartels and all this other crazy shit. That's not, getting monitored through the government, but like they'll still get here and they'll still get sold. You're not gonna stop crime by making it harder to get a gun.
No, not at all. And some of the stuff they want to outlaw, like abortion, that's not gonna stop abortion. That's gonna stop safe abortions. There's
like
gonna
a fucking coat hanger, like
there's gonna be back alley abortions if you outlaw abortions. It's not gonna, save anything.
I would much rather it be professionally done than
right. Now that's a woman's choice. That is nothing.
Pro-life or pro-choice, and that's a different thing. But I don't know. There's certain we can go on. Like circumstances could play out different results and different factors. And then that's kind of what it all plays into is what led up to it being why it is, where it is, and how are we going to deal with it. What's the action, of course, we're going to take after that. It's crazy. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen, and
I just think people need to chill the fuck out, stop being so damn offended over everything, stop trying to control other people. It's not going to work.
You just need to be way more open-minded.
Be more open-minded.
Which we are, but I think more in a sense for
learn
other
to take
people.
a fucking joke.
Honestly,
You know,
no,
for
it's bad.
fuck's sake. I mean, there was so much shit that was said. I mean, I've had people say shit to me that pissed me off, but you get over it. You realize, it was kind of funny. Prime example. All right. When I was a kid, I had trouble with my one leg, or a brace on it. Walking out to a school bus. And the way they set up, they had several different buses for different areas of town and whatnot. And as I'm running to catch my bus, fucking kid in my class pulls down the window on the bus he was sitting on. Run, Forrest, run!
Nice.
Right? It pissed me off at the time, but that's fucking hilarious.
It's funny now.
I mean, it's fucking
Look at him go!
It fucking is,
You tune into the Special Olympics and have a laugh.
Right, yeah. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Some of that shit's downright fucking hilarious. You ever seen The Kiss My Show?
Nope.
Oh my god, YouTube that shit.
I'm gonna have
Try
to.
find it. It's funny as fuck. It's literally just like, it's based out of Chicago. I'm pretty sure it was from like the 80s or 90s, but it was like a community access program that was done in the theme of like a news show. But everybody that did the show, like the interviewers and whatnot, were all to some degree retarded. Find it. It's funny as fuck.
Oh god. I must have like the ringer, when the fuck did we get ice cream? God.
Was I asleep or something? That was a funny ass fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and the fucked up thing is like I went to school with kids that were like retarded, and
Were they in your classes, or did they have a special ed thing that?
some were in some classes, some were
Because now it's more like they kind of like
lunch
take 'em
period
out
and study hall.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, there were some kids that like knew they were messed up, but they had a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
Like we could get those kids laughing and joking with us
I
and
think
and
a lot of
shit. It was it's just a different time. I don't know, man. The people are just so tight now. You can't laugh or joke about anything.
And that's my
It's
source of relief too. Is fucking
No
comedy.
shit.
Like
For real, though.
things get sticky, things are
Like-
rough. I'll crack a joke or like a fucked up one, and then I'll laugh, but then people
Right.
get offended, and it's like, I just fucked up. Like shit.
People look at you like, oh, I can't believe you said that. That's
Yeah.
terrible. Whatever.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Well, I think on that note, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got a lot. Where are we at? Almost 50 minutes. Holy shit.
Yeah, we've been talking about bullshit for almost an hour, 45 minutes.
Pretty much what a podcast is, but
Right. Talking about stupid shit. Once again, I am your host, Benny Manick. This is the Counterfeit Podcast. This is my nephew, Jacob, of Jake Plays Video Games. And he will probably be a regular guest if this keeps going on, but he lives in a completely different state than I am and is here for the holidays, so it'll probably only be a special occasion that he's on the show. We'll have different guests at different time. And
definitely be tuned in, subscribing, listening, commenting.
yeah,
all that
yeah,
fun shit.
and
Stay tuned, I guess.
yeah, I may be an asshole, but I'm a real asshole.
There you go. Love it.